Hello, my name's Rachel and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you the 5-month results for the Vanguard versus Me challenge. So in this challenge, I made some investments that I'd done some research on that I wanted to invest in, and I invested £5,000 of our savings into these investments, and then I'd also had a look at some of the popular Vanguard investments and invested £500 into some Vanguard investments, and then I thought I would track their progress every month and just see how their performance was comparing. Now, Vanguard Funds are really popular. They're a well-established company. They have very low fees, and they also have a great variety of ETFs available, as well as also some managed funds. And they've had some solid historical performance. They're also great if you're a beginner or looking to take on more of a passive route into investing. So on the Vanguard website, it says some people say investing is complicated. We don't think it has to be, and that is definitely the case with Vanguard. They make it nice and simple for investors to invest for the first time, and then also there's a good range and selection without it being overcomplicated or confusing. However, the thing is, sometimes for me personally, I don't mind complicating my investments a little bit, doing a bit more research and diving in and trying to find investments that can potentially beat the market or have high returns. So I don't mind doing that little bit of research. So yes, Vanguard isn't complicated and the fees are really good, but I do think it's worth sometimes just stepping away and having a look at what else is out there. So that's what I've done in this video. So I'm going to cut to the chase and give you the results because that's probably what you're here for, and it's pretty exciting, to be perfectly honest. And then later in the video, I'll break it down a little bit more and tell you a bit about the different investments and why I chose to make them. But essentially, the two investments that I made outside of the Vanguard platform have at the moment performed better than my Vanguard investments. So my investments that I made in the last 5 months, so I'm invested in a trust and an ETF, and they are currently up 15.87% in the last 5 months, which is, if we average it out, just over 3% a month, which I am so pleased with. Now, the Vanguard investments have still done really well and I'm still pleased with them, but they are currently up 4.6% in the last 5 months. So the investments that I decided to make have gone up 15.87%, and the Vanguard investments that I also decided to make have gone up 4.6%. Now, I also wanted to point out that the investments that I have made are not complicated investments. They are available on many different platforms here in the UK. So it's not as if I've gone away and had to pick individual stocks and shares to get this kind of performance. I have simply selected a trust and an ETF that I think could potentially perform well and give me high returns. I'm really sorry, I have still got a bit of a cold. I thought I was going to get rid of it by the time I film my next video, but it is still lingering on, so sorry my voice sounds a bit funny. Anyway, let's go into the details. So the investment that I have made that is actually doing the absolute best is the Pacific Horizon Investment Trust. Now, that is an actively managed trust, and it is up 16.43%, which is phenomenal in the last 5 months. I also wanted to say that I have bought these investments in my investment ISA, and any fees, so any ongoing charges or anything like that, have already been deducted. So the percentage gains that you are seeing are percentage gains after the fees have been deducted already. So we don't have to worry about the fact that there might be higher fees or lower fees for these different investments, as the fees have already been taken out. So the Pacific Horizon Investment Trust, I initially invested £2,510.89, and it's now up at £2,923.44, which is a difference of £412.55, or 16.43%, which I am really pleased with. That is just in 5 months. To be honest, I would be happy to see those kind of returns in a whole year. The market has been very volatile in the last, well, more in September actually, the last week or so it's kind of picked back up again, but September was not a great month and I did see a lot of the investments that I have start to drop. So the fact that this is up 16.43%, even though we've been through the month of September and seen some losses, I am really pleased with that. The second best performing investment that I'm going to talk to you about today is the other one that I chose to make outside of the Vanguard platform in my Smart Investor ISA. This is the Invesco Markets EQQQ Nasdaq 100, and I invested £2,365.70, and it is now at a value of £2,727.15, which is a difference of £361.45, or a 15.28% gain, which is fantastic, and I am really, really pleased with that. Anyway, moving on to the Vanguard investments. So I invested, as I said, £500 into Vanguard Investments, £250 into each of these. So the first one was the Vanguard Life Strategy 100%. Heard a lot of good things about this. A lot of people invest in the Vanguard Life Strategy funds. So I wanted to just take a little bit of a slice of it and compare it to the investments that I wanted to make. So this is at a current value of £264.03, which is a difference of £14.03 and a gain of 5.61%, which is great. Then the second investment that I made with Vanguard to compare is the Vanguard Global Small Cap Index, which I invested £250. The current value is £258.95, and that's a difference of £8.95, which is a 3.58% difference. So overall, the book cost for those were £500. Current value is £522.98, and that is a difference of £22.98, or a 4.6% increase. I have also had some comments on the videos just saying, how have you chosen to compare these? And the way that I have chosen to compare these investments is I bought investments that were of the same risk level to compare. So each of them have got a level 5 or a level 6 risk level, and then I matched that up with the investments that I wanted to make. Often I think when people choose to make investments, the risk level, which I've taken from the synthetic risk and reward indicator, is something people look at because the level of risk of an investment is really important when you're investing for the first time or when you're investing into the future. However, there are some funds available from Vanguard that might be a closer comparison to these investments that I have made. So I wanted to include the figures for those in this video as well, just in case you wanted to see that as well. So the Pacific Horizon Investment Trust investment that I made, that is up 16.43%, is obviously focused on the Asia excluding Japan area. So if I was looking for an Asia Pacific fund excluding Japan within the Vanguard investments, I could have invested in the Vanguard Pacific excluding Japan stock index. However, that wasn't an investment that I personally wanted to make. So I didn't just want to buy that fund for the sake of making a video, because obviously I was investing £250 and I didn't want to do that. But that would probably be your closest comparison if you wanted to look at region. And so the Vanguard Pacific excluding Japan stock index in the last 5 months is down -1.18%. So I'm glad I chose not to make that investment and to invest in a different Vanguard fund instead, but that would be your closest comparison. And then in terms of a closer comparison for the Invesco Markets EQQQ Nasdaq 100, we in the UK, we don't have a Nasdaq 100 available on Vanguard. I think in the US it might be available, but we don't have anything like that at the moment here in the UK. So I think the closest that you could choose is probably Vanguard's S&P 500 FUSA, because it is quite a tech heavy investment. However, obviously it's not purely tech, but that would probably be your closest comparison. That is up 6.42% in the last 5 months, which is still great, but it is nowhere near as high as that 15.28% that I have seen from the Invesco Markets Nasdaq 100. Now, with the Nasdaq 100 investment, I definitely did get lucky with that, and I did buy it in a dip which is not something I personally try and do because I think that is a very difficult thing to do, and I would rather just have time in the market rather than time the market. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say on this. I think I've covered all the bases. As I said, this is the 5-month update, so I might do one next month at 6 months, and then I might leave it until a year to do the next update on this, because I do feel like these videos are getting a little bit more samey. I do like doing videos on Vanguard, so I might think of some other ideas, or if you would like to see a monthly update every single month, then just let me know, because I am more than happy to make them, but I just don't want to bore you with them. Anyway, I hope you're all really well, and thank you so very much for watching, and hopefully in my next video I will not have a cold and I will not sound like this. Who knows though. Thank you very much for watching and have a really lovely day. Bye bye.